Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of Last Cloudia. So we're here once again, you know why we're here. Let's go ahead and get right to it. So what we have here is Goroth the Insatiable. That's right, this is going to be the shift version of Goroth. So let's take a look at his stats, see what we got. So 1304 in strength is good, 6853 for HP, really good. All the other stats are average, so not too bad there. A lot of elemental resistance. The only thing he's weak to is light, which is a 30. But other than that, he's doing pretty good on resistances. As far as, or attributes, I should say, as far as ailments, he's nil to poison and illness. However, he's weak to curse and silence. I don't think the silence part probably matters too much. The curse could be a bit of an issue. And he's resistant to stun, which is decent, I'll say. So, a really interesting set of resistances there. The majority of his skills are going to be related to dark damage. This is a dark DPS character, physical dark DPS. So there you go. So the second skill has a chance to inflict poison. The third skill, the uppercut part of the attack has a damage cap of plus 3,000. So this is just for the third skill. And then the special hits everybody, inflicting poison on enemies and very greatly recover units' HP. So this doesn't say chance, this will actually inflict poison. Now I'm assuming that if you're nil to poison, this probably won't apply. But other than that, they'll probably get poison. They will get poisoned, and you will get some HP. So interesting special there. As far as his traits, we have Tyrant Stomach. For each enemy defeated, HP cap plus 12%, recovery 10 seconds of SCT, and if tasty, strength plus 12%. Physical damage cap plus 1,000. So now they go over the maximum. So maximum HP can be up to 60%, up to 60% strength, damage cap of up to 5,000. And this is, it resets each wave. So it actually does start over. I'm assuming they did it like that because they assumed he'd be a lot too good. I don't know. Or they were just trying to, dumb it down just because he's not like a DOH character. This is a non-limited unit, so he's going to be in the general pool, so they don't want to make him too good. I guess because Medine was so good, they figured they didn't want to go get too hype. Anyway, second trait, Insatiable Hunger. If no enemy is defeated for a time, gain Insatiable. What that means is you consume HP, you have constant HP drop, but your physical damage goes up by 70%. Physical damage cap 4,000. Move faster, and then it's lost if incapacitated or if you defeat an enemy. So basically, this is a scenario to where if you're fighting a boss, is where this is going to apply. That's where you'll get a lot of the bonuses. Just got to be a little bit careful because he's going to be losing HP. If you have a healer, probably not going to worry too much about it. But this means basically that this trait allows it to be somewhat okay in boss battles. But this first with the Tyrant Stomach, that's probably more for different waves. So they basically split up his trait for one to be decent against bosses, the one to be decent against multiple waves, multiple enemies, things of that nature. Let's take a look at his skills. So he comes with HP up 3 with N max. We got Fighting Spirit 4. We have Creature Mastery, which I think is new. When unit has creature type, physical attacks effective on spirits. Damage from spirits minus 10%. When taking magic damage, chance to recover 50% of damage as HP. Now, of course, when it says chance to recover, there's probably a low chance, so I wouldn't really bank on it. But the rest of it seems to be solid if you're running Memory Creature, is what I'm assuming this is for. I don't think that it's going to be in his kit, so I think you have to learn it if you care about it that much. He comes with Brute Slayer, which I absolutely love this skill. It's one of my favorite skills. With special boost, so that's really good too. I like seeing that. Poison Research, which is kind of fits this character in general, so it makes sense. Corrosive Fang, which is the one that does the a chance, to debuff the enemy on a normal attack. So physical attacks can do 20% damage or more damage. You have Auto Brave, Auto Haste, which are good things to have. Fury 2, This means close pedestrian plus 30. We have Dark Drive, Dark High Drive, and Dark Attack Raise 2. So that's a pretty good dark damaging package. A lot of it focused on specials because of the high dive and dives. It's physical and specials, get a 30% bump. So pretty good. He has Terra Mouth, which is good because he does poison type stuff. So it makes sense. He has magic damage healing 2 and 3. I think this is the first time we're getting 3. So when taking magical damage, chance to recover 40% of the damage as HP. Again, anytime you see chance of something happening, don't hold your breath. I've been testing tank builds for a while with the whole physical and magical damage healing. It's not very consistent. Not consistent on boss battles, not consistent in PvP either. If you have it for free, I guess that's okay, but I don't know. This is one of those skills that I feel like is just not good enough. Kind of the whole complaint that I had with Guard, how it's not very consistent with most characters that are supposed to be able to take advantage of Guard. This kind of fits in the same skill, so I'm like, whatever, I guess. Axe High Boost is good. When Axe is equipped, physical attack plus 25% and boost to break level, so that's pretty good. I like that. Slice Dice Julian, which is... when an axe is equipped, skill damage and skill damage count rises, combo hit count rises. So max damage could be up to 40%, and then damage cap 2,000 at 50 hits or more. Okay, so once you're at 50 hits or more, that's when you're going to get like the fullness of this. Now, the good thing about combos is that it counts not just for the one character, but for all characters. And getting a high combo is not difficult. It really isn't. The only time that you're going to have a hard time getting combos is when you have a boss that's spamming a lot of bad spells, kind of a thing. And of course, in PvP, it won't matter because you'll never be able to get to that because of people casting, spells to kind of make you flinch. So this is one of those abilities that's going to be good just in regular, story mode kind of a thing. Possibly some tower, but, it's an interesting skill, I'll say. It's definitely unique and different. So, we'll see as people test it how good it really is. We got Break Boost and Breaker and Destroyer, so the whole break package is there. We have Cooking, which is new. Wave 1 start. Special gauge plus 50%. Special damage cap 3,000. Add Tasty type. Beast, fish, bird to enemy hit by special. I'm glad that they actually put what Tasty type means here, because we've been getting a lot of skills since the beginning of the game, really, that says, if they're tasty, you get something. But they never specified what it was. So we kind of just had to guess. But at least here it actually tells you what it is. Beasts, fish, and birds. Which, makes sense. We have... Oh, and by the way, the skill is limited to just the first wave. So think of Alice's special gauge that works, for the boss wave. This does it for the first wave instead. People are probably going to debate whether that's good or not. Most people are probably going to be disappointed in that. I'm going to say it's borderline okay, only because a lot of times in your first wave, on a normal thing, you're not really caring about getting your special up too fast. However, for boss battles, this is kind of good because technically that would be considered wave 1. So you can get a special a little bit faster for those. So it's decent. I think it's okay. I'm not going to tell you how great it is. I think it's okay. That's what I'll say. Hardy Eater, that's another new one. Physical damage cap 2,000. Physical damage to guarding enemies 120%. Wow, okay. So Rudo and Roland and anyone else that you would use, Lanceville, they're going to take some extra damage. You can't guard against this guy. That's basically what is happening here. Ingest penalty against enemies with 50% HP or less. Physical special damage plus 35%. And physical special damage cap 2,000. So a situational thing, but, ideally your party is going to get the enemy to this, so he'll be able to take advantage of this more. He has a lot of situational damage caps. I think so far he seems to have a lot of potential to do a lot of damage, but again, a lot of it's situational, which some people are not going to probably care for. And the last skill, Meat Dinner. At beginning start, or I'm sorry, at battle start, when defeating an enemy, get a buff to sometimes very greatly restore HP. Buff ends if total HP restored exceeds the maximum unit's HP. Okay, so you potentially have a chance to, heal yourself. Effective against, crazy waves, multi waves that deal a lot of damage. So it's it's interesting, is what I'll say. Overall, the character is, I'll say, just okay. It's not nearly as hype as I would say Medine is. I think Medine's a really good unit, not because of her damage, but how she supports the party. This particular character is basically just a DPS character that has the ability to do some poisoning. So I mean, there is something to him, and he does have a little bit of self sustain. Although a lot of his healing is situational. And again, like a lot of his abilities are kind of all over the place. There's just a lot of chances to do a lot of things. He has a lot of potential, but there's not a whole lot of focus. So, this is kind of one of those characters that I wouldn't go out of your way to push to get. And again, this is a non-limited character, so you're going to eventually get him anyway if you play long enough and do enough pulls just in general. So I would personally not really use your crystals if you don't have to. Well, specifically for this character, it might not be worth it. Use free tickets is what I'm going to say as far as this guy is concerned, and or just wait as time progresses. You're doing polls for other characters, you'll get him eventually. But I'd say that he's an okay character if you don't have a good dark physical DPS that has any kind of damage cap. This will be an okay pull for you. But I'm not super hype on him. I think he's interesting. He's kind of fun because of his potential and some of the things he can do. I do like the poison research, so it's okay. But overall, I don't know. He has potential, but that's about it. Now, the arc here, this is where I'm actually a little more excited. I'm a little more hype on this arc, so let's take a look at it. So, the attribute physical attacks are effective against tasty enemies, which you've learned what that is. When an axe is equipped, killer slayer damage plus 30%. When defeating an enemy, recover from one basic status element. So, if you happen to use anyone that's an axe user, in general, or if you make someone an axe user, however you want to put it, this arc will be really good for you because there are some bosses out there that fit this particular mode, the particular tasty type, and of course there are going to be some normal adventure battles that's going to have this particular type. This wouldn't be like a big PvP kind of thing. I mean, it's going to hit a few things, but I wouldn't rely on it in PvP, but I think in like normal adventure mode, this would actually be really, really good as far as the attributes concerned. As far as skills that could be learned, it starts off with some of the basics like Ale of Victory, HP up 3, Axe Boost, which is decent. I actually like Axe Boost, it's not a bad thing. Eldest Research is pretty good too, not bad. Magic Damage Healing 2, I've already told you how I feel about it. Not the best thing in the world. But the two-handed axe, now this is the thing I like the most here. When only one weapon, only weapon equipped is one axe, physical attack damage plus 20%, crit rate 10%, and physical attack damage cap 2,000. That's pretty strong. I like that. And you know me, I'm one of the few people in the world that is actually okay with single wielding, so this is right up my alley. So there's probably a specific character that we recently got that I would love to put this on. So yeah, this arc I'm more hype about than the actual character for sure. And we haven't even talked about the Ether reward. So this is the Glutton God's Fiend Cleaver. So this is a dark attribute axe, as you would expect. This basically is made for the character we just talked about. HP plus 240, strength 227, but minus 12 on the defense. So you are getting a little bit of a setback. I don't think it's a huge deal. The strength is actually super strong, and you're still getting some HP, so it's not as bad as it looks. When defeating an enemy, recover HP 8%. If enemy is tasty, also recover 4 seconds of SCT for all skills. That's actually really good. I actually like this a lot. There are other axe wielding characters that I would consider equipping this on just because it's just good in general. The dark attribute I don't particularly care about, but it's not really a big deal. But yeah, the stats are good on this weapon, and then being able, well, first off, you're getting the HP recovery. It's not a chance, you just do it. And then you have the potential to gain some SCT depending on the enemy that you've killed. Specifically good for multi enemy fights. Obviously, like for boss fights, this isn't really going to do much for you. So obviously, this weapon is going to be situational, but I still think it's pretty decent. If nothing else, just for the stats in general. So this is actually a decent ether reward item. I think it's good if you have a character that you want to put an axe on. So yeah, overall, I think the arc's actually pretty good. Again, it is, situational depending on what content you're going to use it for. But I think it's good. The two-handed axe is good thing to learn. Illness research is good to learn, and axe boost is good to learn. If you have that kind of character. So overall, yeah, I'm actually kind of hype on the arc. I'll take it. Now, of course, we do have to talk about the credential item. So let's take a look. We're going to look at the Hell's Mega Cleaver. So for Goroth only, obviously, this is a dark attribute axe. This has HP plus 200, strength 183. And then, of course, you have as remaining HP decreases, strength increases. Max of 30%, dark attack damage plus 10%. This is an okay item, but I'll be honest with you, I think the Arc Ether reward would be much better than this. Mainly because if you're getting more strength first and foremost on the other item, more HP, and the only thing you're really sacrificing is defense. And you're getting, but the good thing about this weapon is the fact that you are getting a bit of a strength increase as you go down. And the darkness damage plus 10% is not bad, but I still think the Arc Ether reward is a bit better, just a little bit. Let's take a look at the other item, the Insatiable Meat Suit. Because why wouldn't you have one? So HP plus 600. This is a cloth. Strength 66, defense 101, mind 39. So as remaining HP decreases, we're still going with that. Defense increases. Max plus 30%. Continuous regen effect. Dark attack damage cap 1000. This also comes with elemental resistance to the basic 4, fire, ice, earth, and light and thunder. So yeah, I think this is actually better than the weapon because you're getting damage cap on a piece of clothing, which I'm sure there's going to be some people out there that's not going to like that. Like, why not on the weapon, why on the clothing? I'm okay with it. I think it's kind of interesting that they're going there with a piece of cloth. So, I'm going to say for sure, without even any hesitation, if you're the kind of person that wants to invest in this character, but you only want to get one of the items, I would highly recommend the cloth. The damage cap alone pretty much sells it, but I would say just the fact that you're getting decent stat boost all around, you're getting auto regen. There's just a lot of good things happening here. A lot of resistances. Like altogether, it's just a total package. And again, if you're looking for a better sword, just pull for the arc. So you get the arc for the sword, and then you use their credentials to get the cloth, and you're good to go. If you're gonna go there, because like I said, this character is not bad, right? I'm not trying to, So that's why I say if you're into this character, I would definitely recommend getting the meat suit. It's gonna definitely be good for you and get the arc reward. Now I'm not gonna be spending any crystals on this event. I'm gonna be saving them for like future events. So, and it's not to say that this is because it's a bad set, because honestly, I really like the arc and I'd love to get it. But I am going to use some tickets. So let's go ahead and use some tickets and see if we can get something. So we're going to go ahead, and I got 3 of these premium tickets. Let's go ahead and use them just to see what we can get. A lot of times you want to save up 10 to do your own little multi-pull, but I usually have low expectations on these tickets, so yeah, we'll see what happens. So we got our boy Cal all by his lonesome, so it's not looking good for the home team. Let's take a look and see what happens here. We do get 1 screen, and that is it. So yeah, we're not getting nothing here, not even a yellow, and that's okay. Again, I have low expectations on these tickets, so it's no big deal. We're going to go ahead and use an SSR ARC ticket, just because I actually do want the ARC. That's the one thing I actually do want the most. So let's see if I'm fortunate enough to get 1 out of these 2 tickets. That's what I'm going for right now, specifically the arc. Now I have unit tickets. I'm not going to use them here. Not the character I'm trying to go for. All right. Now we got the whole squad, so we're going to squad up. Of course, we know that we are getting an SSR times 2, so let's just see what happens and see what we get here. Oh, I didn't even mess around. It's like, yeah, we're giving you those reds. All right, so let's see what's up. Ah, boo. Unfortunately, we didn't get it, but you know what? That's okay. It's going to be in the general pool anyway. I'll eventually get the arc, so, not a terrible thing. Again, I just want to save my crystals, not necessarily because of, this being just a skippable thing. This is more just because I know there's a lot of good stuff coming. We're probably going to have a swimsuit thing, like a summer thing. So I'll probably want to maybe spend a little crystals on that. Or we may have a collab coming, probably sooner or later. So I'll probably want to save up for that, which is why I'm not really going to be using any crystals for now. But hopefully this has helped you to kind of decide if you want to invest in the character or the arc, depending on what your play style is. And then, of course, next time a new character comes out, we'll be back. So thank you for watching and tuning in. Keep gaming. Take care, everyone. Later.